talked about with Shaddy was, if he's in the process of renovation and there's a tenant or a buyer, I mean, it becomes almost like, you know, building your own home. I mean, they get involved with allowing them to select colors and cabinets or whatever else they can in that capacity. But in the development agreement, assuming that these rentals stay rentals, they will have built into the rent rate a maintenance agreement. So to ensure that the lawn is being cut weekly or that the snow is being shoveled, you know, at each snowfall. Again, trying to build in as much protection as we can to the neighborhood, so that you don't end up in another situation where you have overgrown grass or you know, homes that get away from us.
This might be more a question for court counsel. This idea of renters and if it's a rental, could it stay a rental? 2.09 says that you know, right of first refusal. And when we talk about rentals and evictions, we talk about some involvement with the city. Who is making that decision on behalf of the city? Is that something that's going to come before council? I know this agreement allows for an administrator to be named. Is that person going to be working directly with the developer? How, on a house-by-house basis, will those sort of, let's keep it a rental, let's turn it into an eviction, how are those decisions going to be made house by house?
Well, the easy one is if it's a rental now, it can continue to be a rental after the rehab period. That's number one. Number two, if it's owner occupied and the owner doesn't want to purchase the property and they RT lists the property and it's on the market for a significant time period, although we didn't give them the right to allow, what we basically said is we don't want any more rentals. But if you come to us and talk to us about that particular property, then the administration will make a decision on whether that makes sense to actually let it out as a rental. But it will only be after they have marketed the property for some time and they're not getting any capers on the property as a house for owner-occupied. With regard to the eviction process, Shadi has indicated that oftentimes, what do we have, 40 properties that will have people living in them, and of those 40, 30 of those are owner-occupied, homestead exemption, so they've been living there for the last 4 years without paying taxes, probably without paying a mortgage. Those are in conjunction with Jeff's team. There will be a rehabilitation plan put in place saying, once we get down to these properties, after we do all the easy ones that nobody's living in them, then we're going to attack the properties where there are owners, are people living in them. And Shadi will start that process with Jeff and his team, and he'll send out people in uniforms that identify themselves as RT and with a pamphlet on all the bells and whistles of what you can and can't do. With respect to Mr. Garza's comment, it will identify what their legal rights are, okay? And then if we can't work with them to move them out of the house, then obviously we would have to, at the recommendation of RT, through the rehabilitation team and administration with Jeff's team, they'll make a decision on they need to proceed through an eviction process. And once that decision is made, then the city would transfer that particular property to RT or an RT affiliate. So when the eviction proceeding starts, the city of Taylor is not evicting somebody out of their own house. That's how it's set up.
Just because you were talking about the eviction, excuse me, you had said that about 25% of occupants won't leave and will need to be moved to that eviction process, and then those properties are transferred to a separate LLC. And my question to our council is, how does that affect our agreement, which is with Realty Transition LLC?
The agreement allows to transfer the property to RT or one of RT affiliates. RT has set up a separate affiliate company that just owns properties that they're in the process of evicting people. what you're gonna find is of the 40 properties, so what are we talking about? We're talking 4 properties, 5 properties that we might evict.
Yeah.
So that's what, we're just trying to mitigate I guess the way it looks that the city might be evicting somebody. We don't want that. We don't want people to think the city's evicting people. The city's trying to do a public purpose here to rehab the property, and the city owns the property. RT is working with the city and the city staff to get the people out of the house that aren't supposed to be there any longer because they haven't paid taxes for the last 4 years. And if we can't work with them, then that's when that process begins.
Thank you. Just through the chair, one more question. When did you enter into the agreement with Allen Park?
Today.
Madam Chair, I think the deadline of tomorrow is what is inspiring a lot of the last minute activity.
And if I could just address that, what happens tomorrow is that's the tax foreclosure where the state has passed on it, Wayne County's passed on it. Now the local units of government have the right to purchase those properties. If we don't purchase those properties tomorrow, then I think there are 2 more bites at the apple. Then there's another auction that goes in September. Typically nobody buys them in September because they're for the full price for all the taxes. And then I think 2 months later there's one last auction where it's a minimum bid. You can get a house for $500, and that's when you get all the people coming in and buying them, and then just trying to lease them out for $600 to make $100 on the house. And then they don't pay the taxes, and it all starts all over again. What we're trying to prevent is the continuous buy, hold for 4 years, not pay your taxes, nothing coming to the city, and then just letting it go vacant again. That's what this purpose is.
I think too, in their section 2.11, it says the developer will not evict anybody without the city's consent.
And Madam Chair, if I could, I think going back to Councilman Bzura's original question, the who, I mean, again, the vision that I have is that will be Jeff and his team and his department, that is his role as development services, but those are hopefully going to be very rare situations. I mean, the goal is to try to avoid any and all.
To the chair, do you have some apartments here?
I think there's one apartment on that list.
And then is, okay, on Goddard Road, and then you have the same address, excuse me, at 6911 Polk. It's on that place, same apartment also?
That was a lot. So typically there's a few of them where they have the same address, it's a lot. It's next door to the house.
Okay, and Goddard's an apartment?
I believe so, Madam Chair.
I have to look at my list, but there's one apartment on the list. Yeah.
Pardon me?
There's one address in Goddard that has 2 lots in addition to the home. It's 255.
That's 25373.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and is there somebody in there? In those 3?
Shannon, you know what that's like?
I have one.
Is that a home in 2 lots, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, so-
Anytime you see the same address, there's different parcels, usually means it's a double lot or a triple lot.
So the apartment is 14070 Jackson Street.
And how many people are in that one, you know?
That was a few of the ones that we had on the list. We had some unknowns. Because it's just driving by the house and doing our best judgment. We're usually pretty good about it, spotting certain things, the garbage and things like that. But this one, if you see it up here, it's very difficult to tell if this one was occupied or not. I mean, my best judgment would say it's occupied.
Yeah. And that's the Jackson Street one.
Madam Chair, that appears to be a condo, not an apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilman Bzura, do you have any more questions? I mean, I just wanted to keep it.
If you'd like to ask one.
We all have.
I know, I'm just trying to go around so that we
Madam
didn't.
Chair,